Hello, this is Joshua for Frost Dragon Designs, and today I'd like to talk to you about my Pipette Cat hard enamel pin. This pin is part of my More Cats Doing Science collection. The More Cats Doing Science pin collection features more than 35 designs of cats doing science and science-adjacent activities. Now let's get into the design. The first thing I'm going to point out here is that I don't really know what a pipette looks like. And so I had to do some Google research, I had to find some photos, and then I asked my wife, who used to work in a lab setting, I said, hey, is this the type of device that you used to use when you would say that you were doing pipetting work, or pipette work? And she said, yep, that's the one. So that's how I got that. Now, I then used that photo as a reference. I did not trace it. That's not the point of references, in my opinion. They are to refer back to. So you can see the image that I was referring back to when making it, because I wanted it to be accurate to the tool itself. But I don't like when people trace things. If you want to look at a reference, fine, whether it's in real life or a photo, I don't have any issues with that. But I kind of have a problem when people trace things and then say, I did art. It's my personal opinion. But anyway, pipetting or micropipetting, or I think there might be some other terms for it. But basically what is happening with a pipette is you are extracting a very small and precise amount of liquid from one vessel and depositing it into another vessel. This happens in lab settings quite frequently when you need to run various assays or tests or on samples, especially if you need to run multiple tests on a single sample. You want to be able to extract just enough to perform the test that you need done. Now, you also want to make sure that you can do this for a lot of samples, one right after the other. And so what needs to happen to avoid cross-contamination is the tip that is inserted into your first sample cannot be the same tip that you're then using on your next sample and on the next and on the next and on the next. So they have these devices, these types of pipettes, that basically have a disposable tip on the end of them. And so if you are a lab tech or you work in a lab that does pipetting work, what you basically do is you take this device and you stab it onto one of those disposable tips. You then put it into the sample, extract what you need, put it into wherever you're depositing it, deposit that sample, then you hold it over a trash can or whatever, pop off that disposable tip, and then repeat for the next sample. So it's very repetitive, but this device makes it so that you're not having to constantly wash and clean a manual pipette. So, I mean, in lab settings, you will see pipettes like this quite frequently. I know my wife used to work in a lab setting and would frequently mention, hand strain or whatnot from, doing so much pipette work during the course of the day. And because this is such a commonly used tool, I didn't want to link this to a specific discipline. I mean, this is in biological sciences and possibly non-biological sciences. I'm not sure. Maybe chemistry. That would make sense, I guess. This tool is used a lot, and that's why when I titled this one, I titled it just Pipette Cat, because it's not so much about a specific discipline as it is about a tool that is commonly used. Now, keep in mind that that tool is designed for a single hand use by a human, but kitties are small. So this kitty is having to use two paws to hold and operate his pipette. I don't know that it would actually even work very well the way I've pictured it here, but that was the best I could figure out how to do without making like a tiny pipette for the cat. I don't know, that seemed weird too, because I don't illustrate the cats with like finger-like appendages. So, having them basically two-hand a big pipette seemed like it was the best visual option. Now, my wife was quick to point out, and I'm sure many of you lab folk would be quick to point out, that the kitty does not have the pipette in a proper orientation. It should be straight up and down for putting a new tip on, and I kind of have it at an angle because my kitty's a shorty, and, I couldn't figure out how to illustrate it with it being straight up and down and still looking reasonable with the kitty. Poor short kitty having to deal with a world built for much larger people. I think a lot of people can relate to that, though. Well, anyway. If you enjoyed watching me design this pin, hearing me talk about some of the things I was thinking about, and why I made some of the design decisions I did, please go ahead, like and subscribe. I try to release at least one new video a week, and I would love to have you along for the next one. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your day.